My name is Sharon Ibironke, and I am originally born and bred from Ghana. So I am the founder of Legacy Fashion. And here at Legacy Fashion, we specialize in using traditional Ghanaian prints and transforming them into making contemporary, modern, timeless clothing and accessories for women and children. All the products are 100% handmade here in Ghana. And I hope you enjoyed this interview with Just for Women Africa. Thank you so much. Bye bye. The idea came after I had my second child during the COVID. So I remember just thinking to myself that, oh my gosh, I have two children. They are going to be raised in Canada. They are not going to have much attachment to their Ghanaian roots. So I was like, okay, what can I do to leave something for them, to start up something that would always serve as a reminder of their Ghanaian roots. So I was like, I thought of two main industries. I thought of food. I'm like, nah, because I cook Ghanaian food every day. So then I was like, okay, then the next thing that I was equally passionate about was fashion. So that was what started my journey to starting the business. It was mainly for my kids, just to give them that connection. And I have always wanted to sort of help control the narrative of African fashion, because previously it's always looked at as poor quality, secondhand. And I just wanted to help, change the narrative a little bit and just make it known that like we can produce high quality products that are able to compete on the international stage as well. So these are the two main reasons. When it comes to the product, I would say the biggest challenge is because the Ghanaian market specifically has been flooded with so many Chinese products, Chinese imitation products. So it becomes so difficult to be able to differentiate between the high quality fabrics that we know and we love versus the cheap ones. Because it's like the cheaper ones, it's kind of easy to identify them because they are cheaper. But then again, once you wash them once or twice, they run and then they ruin, the integrity of the product. So this has been the first thing. And I'll say the second thing has been just finding the right team of people to work with, reliable people to work with. Thank God, my core team members have been amazing, wonderful. But every now and again, you work with people where you agree to this form of arrangement and they end up doing something else. So I would say these two things have been, quite challenging, and also financing, finding financing. It's just been, so far for me it has been non-existent. So I would say these three areas have been, a bit challenging to navigate. Yeah. The very first collection that we did, my business partner in Ghana, we just went straight to Makola Market. And we just spoke to the women in the local markets, and we just explained our situation with them. And we told them, like, please recommend which products, which fabrics do you think are of the highest quality? And to be my surprise, they were very honest. They were like, use this one, use this one, use this one, use this one. These ones will not run, these ones will not do this. And then once we tried it and it worked out, then we just continued like this relationship with the women. Over time, I would say I've been able to partner with, the local companies themselves, like I would say GTP themselves, directly at the source, and just explain to them, this is what we want. What sort of fabrics do you have available that can match our collection? And we've been able to work around it that way because that has helped to alleviate the pressure because now I know I'm getting the product directly from the source versus the middlewoman. But when we first started, we had to go to the middleman, which is the market women. And then from there, we transitioned to the company itself. Amazing. It's my first collection. I remember the first time I launched my collection, I went to a local pop-up market. This is a funny story. A local pop-up market in my city at that time. And it's even on my social media page. I didn't know that I needed a table. I didn't know I needed a chair. I didn't know anything. Like everything that I had to borrow for that pop-up market. And I was so nervous because I was like, okay, I knew going in that I would be the only vendor carrying these type of products. And I was nervous, but I would say that within by the end of the show, I sold out. And it was not just from Black people, it was from all walks of life, Black people, Asians, Caucasians, fellow Africans. It was the majority were non-Africans. That is what surprised me. But from then till now, I would say it has been every time my mind is blown. When people come up to me and they're like, oh my gosh, I love your product. I love it. And I'm like, wow, how is this even happening? So it's been amazing. I mean, so for with my first collection, I would say everything was 100% financed by my business partner and I. Everything, 100% was by from the two of us. So for the following subsequent collections, all we did was whatever sales and profits that we made from the from the previous collection, we put it right back into the business for the next collection. So the challenge with that is most of that goes into production, manufacturing, and shipping costs and stuff. But in business, we know that so much of the business also has to do with administrative costs, marketing costs, and stuff like that. So for most of the times, I am the one that has to invest those funds from my personal coffers into the business. And that is also like that can only be a limited amount of funds versus if I'm able to secure funding from like, you know, an investor or, you know, a small from another, you know, investment venture or something, then that just puts me in a position where I will be able to produce more on a larger scale and I will be able to effectively market the product and get the product in front of as many relevant people as possible. But so far, since that has not been existent, I've had to rely heavily on, you know, social media marketing and a lot of personal referrals and just face-to-face conversations and networks. 100%. Well, right now I have an Etsy store. So my Etsy store, I've had like customers from America. I've had customers from Europe, a couple of European countries, and I'm able to ship all over the world. But I definitely am working on having like some form of physical presence in, I would say, US, because US outside Canada, US is my largest market. So I'm working to, you know, have some form of physical presence in the US and also maybe one or two European countries as well, just to see how it goes. But definitely, definitely, definitely. I would say about twice a year. Because remember, because there are so many factors that go into that. Because the thing about selling your product in Canada and let's say outside Africa is you need to take the times of the year into consideration. So most of the time during, let's say from fall to winter, from autumn to winter time, the temperatures are much cooler. And for the specific items that I make, they are more geared towards the spring, summer time of the year. So during those times of the year, I don't bring in as much because I know naturally sales dip a little bit. They peak again during they peak again during the holiday season. So I'm talking Christmas, New Year season, because a lot of people are traveling, they are going on vacation, they are giving each other gifts and stuff. So sales peak during that time. So I will make sure I have enough product during that time. And then things kind of go quiet again. And then they peak again during spring. So spring over here starts from about March. March right up until I would say August. This is peak retail season. So I have to make sure that manufacturing has been taken care of and the products are with me. And then once they arrive, then I'm able to push until the end of summer. We take a little break and then I gear up again for the holiday season in, December, January. Oh, wow. Good question. I would say I started with around about $2,000 to $3,000. Yeah, it was a very small collection. I just had one skirt. I had one skirt that was for mother and daughter. And then I had one dress, but they came in two different colors. So it was a very small collection, so it wasn't very capital intensive. And then I had earrings. So it was just around about $2,000 to $3,000. It wasn't anything too bad. I don't want to use the word unfortunately, but from this is my personal experience. From my experience, the demographics of people who buy my products are not, most of them are not African. So most of them, I would say, are Black Americans or Black people in the diaspora. And the rest of them, I would say, are Caucasian. So the age range starts from anywhere between 25 years right up until I would say about 55 years old. And for most of these women, they are mostly mature. They are very self-aware of their style, who they are. They know what their body type is. They are not dressing for the fad. They are more dressed, they are dressing to have like that classic look that they can be worn any time of the year in any season. So these are the women that fall within my demographic. I was able to find like a freight forwarder. So the freight forwarder partners with DHL. And so what I do is I just, once the products are ready in like, my manufacturing location in Ghana, so then I just, send a request and then they go, it's door to door. So then they pick it up from my warehouse location in Ghana in partnership with DHL, and then they deliver it to me here in Canada. Now, to answer your second question, the challenge about that is it's expensive. DHL is expensive. And, delivery costs, transportation costs alone takes up, I would say, almost about 40 to 50% of my total manufacturing costs. Yeah, but I do it that way because I know they are fast and to a very large extent, they are reliable. Versus if I use shipping or anything else, then that one is going to take longer and is more difficult for me to be able to track the progress of my shipments. You can follow me on social media is at legacy, is at LEGAC_Y fashion.